So this is the Christmas theme video, but before we get into that concept, I want to show you what I've been up to creative wise. And yes, it's going to go towards my gifting process of pictures, which I just want to briefly say that if somebody makes something creative and asks you, hey, would you like this? Even if you turn around and give it to, say, the Salvation Army, the thrift store, whatever, take it, because it's the thought that counts. But anyway, even if some of my pictures wind up at the Goodwill or thrift store, I won't be offended by it. I won't be hurt. At least that's what I keep telling myself. I will do my best to accept it and move on. This is my little snowflake that I did, and it says, "Let it snow." It says, "Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow." And it says in quotes, "Let it snow." Okay, so that one's done. What am I working on now? Well, remember how I told you about that cartoon that had Rudolph and it looked like his girlfriend on a date? Well, I just couldn't resist. When I saw this deer, I started doing it. And to me, it just turned into Rudolph playing reindeer games. So I immediately did an Instagram tonight of poor Clarice. She didn't know this is proof that Rudolph is into his reindeer games. So I'm working on that, and I'll show it to you when I'm finished. I decided tonight I will break out my Christmas book that I bought. Yes, this is the Once Upon a Time Christmas, a feast of seasonal stories and poems by various authors. And we're going to share a poem and a story from Once Upon a Christmas Time. So gather round. The first is Wild Weather, which is a poem by Shirley Hughes. Shirley Hughes, wild weather, winter is coming. The wind that blows hard from the north, from the land of the snows, nips the fingers and reddens the nose and strips the trees. The track is sticky with mud and mire, and crows stirring like croaches along the wire. And wanderers think of home and fire, and so do we. And there's the little pictures. Okay? Moving forward. And this is a story called The Three Bears Christmas Party, written by Maggie Russell and illustrated by Anthony Lewis. It was Christmas time, and the three bears who lived in the house on the edge of the woods decided to give a party. They each wrote invitations to friends. The Great Huge Bear wrote Great Huge Invitations. The Middle-Sized Bear wrote Middle-Sized Invitations. And the Wee Little Bear wrote Wee Little Invitations, mostly to rabbits. Then they cleaned the house from top to bottom, decorated with holly and mistletoe. "We need a Christmas tree," said the Great Huge Bear. "Tomorrow I'll go out in the woods and dig one up." Turning the page. Middle-Sized Bear, who longed to have a day on her own in the kitchen to do the cooking, said, "Little Wee Bear can go with you. I'll give you both a packet of sandwiches." In the morning after, Great Huge Bear and Little Wee Bear set off. Middle-Sized Bear got her cooking pots and scales and butter and flour from the cupboard. She made Bath buns and rock buns and soft batch buns and the whole wheat buns and some great huge Derby scones and some wee little doughnuts. She enjoyed herself very much. Meanwhile, Great Huge Bear and Little Wee Bear had gone deep into the woods and found the perfect tree. First they sat down with it, ate their sandwiches, and then the Great Huge Bear took their spade and began to dig in a circle around the roots of the tree. All at once the spade hit a large stone and flipped in the air, and Great Huge Bear fell flat on his back with his legs bent underneath him. Little Wee Bear was very alarmed. He tried to help Great Huge Bear to his feet, for his knee was badly twisted. It took them a long time to get home. Middle-Sized Bear was looking for them anxiously. She made Great Huge Bear soak his leg in hot water. Then she bandaged it up, and he must go to bed. And this is the bear having great concern. "What about the party?" wailed the wee little bear. "We haven't got a Christmas tree." Middle-sized Bear thought of all the buns she had cooked. "We shall still have the party," she said. "Great Huge Bear may be better in the morning." But in the morning Great Huge Bear had a huge sore head as well as a bad leg. However, he said grumpily that he would come downstairs and sit by the fire. The guests came promptly. At 3 o'clock there were black bears, brown bears, grizzly bears, the bears from the post office, and the bears from across the stream. They all arrived together, and then they tried to knock on the door at the same time. There were no rabbits. They were afraid of getting trodden on. The party was a great success. Everyone made a fuss of Great Huge Bear, who judged the winners of the musical bears, musical statues, pass the honey pot, and treasure hunt. Then they each pulled a cracker and sat down for tea. At the last bun disappeared the bears, lay back feeling extremely full. There came the sound of squeaky voices. Singing "Good King, Wassels, looked out." The little wee bear flung open the door, and gang of rabbits giggled nervously. Beyond them stood a Christmas tree. The rabbits, with the help from a squirrel or two, had felt sorry for little wee bear, and had decorated a tree in the woods. All the bears crowded outside, and the Great Huge Bear found he could walk after all. It was a perfect end to the party. And that will be your Christmas moments. And don't worry, we've got more Christmas stories in this great big huge book, and poems as well. And I'll try to share another story and poem with you tomorrow night. Good night, y'all.